So now let's talk about the replace sketch entity tool. And for this, I'm going to use this plug here. So I've got a simple drawing here, and now I'm going to make some changes here. So as you can see, this drawing is made with several features. We have this boss extruded feature, then we have second extruded feature, some fillets, again some extrusions, and so on. Now I'll go to the first boss extrude feature here, expand it, and I'll select the sketch. Now I'm going to modify this sketch, which is this one. Now this is the base sketch which I used for creating this. Now I'm going to just change some of the geometries here. This is a straight line. I want to convert it into an arc. So I'll just select 3-point arc. I'll select the first point, second point, and I'm going to click here, and I'll do the same for this side. So first point, second point, and I'll just click here. Now, not only that, I'll also ensure that these 2 points are perfectly horizontal. So I'll just select it, I'll make it horizontal. All right. And also I'll just change the radius. So here this should be, well, 32. So I'll just make it 32. And this should also be 32. Actually, it is already 32, but that's okay. So I'll just add these 2 dimensions. Okay, so I've got these things. Now I'll delete this line. And also I'll delete this one. So these are subtle changes that I made, not that significant kind of change, but when I exit this, SolidWorks will give us this kind of warning. Now it is giving this kind of warning. You can actually stop this and start repairing it, or you can just ignore it. So I'll just ignore it for now. And look at this, all the dependent features will kind of fail here. Now if you fix the next error, it's going to show error once again in the next feature and so on. So this usually happens when you have a feature dependent on another one and so on and so forth. Now you can actually, in these kind of situations, replace the sketch with the new one instead of simply deleting it, and that avoids any kind of error. So now I'll press Ctrl Z a couple of times so that we are back to the main drawing without any kind of error. So again, Ctrl Z, and there we are. So this is the original drawing, no error whatsoever. And once again, I'm going to do the same thing, but this time with replace sketch entity. So sketch 1 and edit sketch. Now 3-point arc. So first point, second point, third point, first, second, third. Now you know that we just need to make it horizontal just for the sake of consistency, and also a radius here. So maybe I'll add a radius of 32, and here also radius of 32. Okay, so that's done. Now in order to avoid those errors, I will now replace this line with this, and to do that, just select this line. And now from this flyout, select this replace entity option. Select it, and we have 2 options. Well, the first is, do you want to delete the main line or want to convert it into a construction geometry? In this case, I just want to convert this line into a construction geometry because maybe if required later we can use it. So I'll just select make construction. Now this is the line 2. This is selected line 2, and we want to replace this line with the arc. So now here, just select this box and now click on this arc. So now the line will be replaced with an arc, and the main line, the actual line, will be converted into a construction geometry. You can also select delete if you want to delete this main line. So I'll click OK, and there we are. This line is converted into construction, and this is a new geometry. Let's repeat it again. Select this line, replace entity, and here again make construction. We are going to replace it with this arc, and click OK. Now SolidWorks will replace this line with this, and hopefully this will avoid any kind of error down the line. So I'll exit out of this sketch, and there we are. So it gracefully transferred all the other properties to next set of features, and we no longer have any kind of error. So this is the replace entity tool which you can use to modify the features. Now this isn't a short way of modifying features, and it's not always like you won't end up into any kind of error. You will still end up with some errors, and that's quite possible that you will end up with some errors and you may need to later fix it. But in most of the situations, this will let you avoid some errors. For example, in this case, we do have a small problem. If you could notice this thing, we have a fillet here, but we don't have that here. Initially we had fillet on this side of the drawing as well, but now we don't. So you just need to make these smaller modifications if required, but in most of the cases, replace sketch entity will be able to fix your sketches without altering anything down the run. So that's the replace entity tool.